Ya.
Allahu Akbar.
Hey, this is Andrew Lim inviting you to go out on the limb. Good morning again from a lovely Sidi Bou Said. So today we're going to go further. We're going to do a day tour to Kairouan, El Jem and Monastir. This actually requires I think at least, it's about 200 kilometers from Sidi Bou Said. So at least a good 2-3 hours drive each way. So we're going to have a long day, but it's going to be worth it because I heard those places are worth checking out. And beautiful, which includes a Colosseum, a most complete Roman Colosseum. So I'm so excited, can't wait. So come go on and live with me and we will check out these amazing areas together today. Folks, before we start, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notify button for new contents that I upload weekly. Shukran. Driving through the countryside of Tunisia feels like stepping back in time. Rolling fields stretch out on either side of the road, and the views and route are simply amazing. In a clever, down-to-earth twist, locals here actually use rows of dried cornstarch as natural fences to mark their land. Yeah, I know, it's ingenious. It's a simple, beautiful detail that perfectly captures the rhythm of rural life here. Our next stop is the ancient city of Kairouan, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most spiritually important cities in Islam. The city's name, Kairouan, comes from the Arabic word al-Kairouan, which itself is borrowed from the Persian word karvan, meaning caravan, a nod to its early role as a trading hub. Now inside the Medina, the Kairouan, yes, there's a Medina here, the winding alleys are full of life with a rich mix of cultures, including a small but historic Jewish community that once thrived here. It was founded in 670 CE by an Arab general during the early Muslim expansion. Kairouan became the first major Islamic city in North Africa, a base for further expansion westward. The city was not only a military stronghold, but also a major center of Islamic learning, culture, and trade. For centuries, it was seen as the fourth holiest city in Islam after Mecca, Medina, and Jerusalem. The Medina features traditional whitewashed houses, blue and green wooden doors, and hidden courtyards defining its charming aesthetic. There are souks or markets specializing in carpets, jewelry, and local crafts. By the way, the carpets made in Kairouan are still considered some of the finest in the Arab world, especially the wool or what you call sapra carpets. Kairouan's Medina is notably less touristy and more authentic feeling compared to the other North African Medinas. Every street here feels ancient. You really sense the layers of history under your feet. The centerpiece of Kairouan is the Great Mosque of Kairouan, a monumental piece of worship dating back to the 7th century and has stood through centuries of pilgrims, scholars, and history. The mosque features massive stone walls, a huge open courtyard, and a square minaret that inspired countless mosques across the Maghreb region. The columns inside were repurposed, in fact, from earlier Roman ruins. From Kairouan, we headed to the coastal city of Monastir. Here, the Ribat of Monastir, an ancient Islamic fortress, rises above the blue waters of the Mediterranean. It was built originally in 796 CE by an Arab general, It is the oldest Ribat, what you call fortified monastery in North Africa, and one of the best preserved, no doubt. Ribat comes from the Arabic word meaning garrison, which is a place where soldiers, religious scholars, and Sufis lived, defended, and prayed. At the time, Muslim forces needed strong coastal defenses to protect against the Byzantine naval attacks coming from Sicily and southern Europe. Now, Monastir's strategic location on the rocky peninsula made it a natural choice. Now, over the centuries, the Ribat was expanded and fortified, but it still retains the spirit of its original design. Climbing to the top rewards you with sweeping views over the coastline, where you can almost feel the echoes of centuries of travelers and defenders who once watched over this gateway to North Africa. The fortress watched over the shimmering Mediterranean Sea, its sentinels blending faith and vigilance into a single purpose. Today, the battles are long over, but the spirits of resilience lingers in every tower, every courtyard. So from here, the world stretches endlessly, a view once guarded with courage, now shared in awe. From here, the world stretches endlessly, a view once guarded with courage, now shared in awe. Finally, we reach El Jem, home to one of the largest Roman amphitheaters in the world. Now, El Jem, then called Daytrip, was one of the richest cities in Roman Africa, thanks to its booming olive oil trade. In the heart of El Jem, rising unexpectedly from fields of olive trees, stands a colossus of ancient ambition. Now, the amphitheater of El Jem once echoed with clash of steel and roar of 30,000 spectators. Yes, a Roman dream that was carved in stone far from Rome itself. Now, beneath these arches, gladiators awaited their fate. Above them, the crowds demanded spectacle. Now, today, the battles are memories, but the spirits of resilience endures, written into every weathered stone and sunlit corridor. I'm quite surprised you can touch the stone here, to be honest with you, and you can tell these stones even have shells in it, so they were actually carried from the shores to be part of the construction here. Built in the 3rd century around 238 AD during the reign of the Roman Emperor Gordian I, the amphitheater of El Jem could once hold up to 35,000 spectators, almost unimaginable for its time.
Allahu Akbar.
Now, its massive stone arches and underground passages are still remarkably well preserved today. Even now, the amphitheater is alive with concerts and cultural events, blending ancient grandeur with modern-day energy. The citizens of El Jem, which then was called Daytrip, wanted their city to reflect their prosperity, so they built this massive amphitheater, modeling it after the Colosseum in Rome. Now, this was a huge statement. Even far from Italy, the Roman emperor's reach and power were absolute, and his culture, including gladiatorial games and spectacles, thrived there too. Now, the amphitheater could seat between 30,000 and 35,000 people, almost the entire population of the city at that time. It's the 3rd largest Roman amphitheater in the world, after the Colosseum in Rome, of course, and the amphitheater of Capua in Italy. Now, built entirely of stone blocks without any foundations, which is amazing. This is an architectural masterpiece considering it's still standing today. Has a massive 3-story facade with rows of arcades. It also features an underground passages and vaulted cells where animals and gladiators were kept before shows.
So this is the second Colosseum amphitheater the Romans built after the Colosseum in Rome. Really impressive.
It features a central arena where games, including gladiatorial combat, wild animal hunts, and public executions, entertain the crowd. So originally, the amphitheater was used for gladiator games, similar to those in Rome, both violent spectacles and public entertainment. But later, during times of conflict, especially in medieval periods, locals used the amphitheater as a fortress. Now, in the 17th century, parts of it were damaged when Ottoman rulers bombarded rebel tribes hiding inside. Now, despite this, the structure remains remarkably intact, especially the outer walls and underground areas. And today, the Amphitheater of El Jem is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and has been so since 1979. It's still used for events today, notably the El Jem International Symphony Festival, where orchestras perform in the open air under the stars, echoing music through the ancient stone. Imagine, this is a place once filled with roar of crowds and clash of gladiators, now resonates with music and art. So it's a really surreal feeling visiting this amphitheater because you are witnessing a massive Roman structure that is still sitting in a small Tunisian town, almost in the middle of nowhere, that's surrounded by dusty streets and olive groves. It shows how globalized the Roman Empire really was, even in North Africa, where life mirrored the traditions of Rome. And unlike the Colosseum in Rome, which is very crowded and fenced, visitors can walk almost freely here. So in short, the Amphitheater of El Jem is not just a Roman ruin, it's a living symbol of power, ambition, survival, and transformation. It is definitely one of the most breathtaking historical sites here in Tunisia, and I dare say all of Africa. Although it's a long drive from the coastal charm of Sidi Bou Said, the journey into Tunisia's heartland is absolutely worth it. From ancient mosques and Roman amphitheater to breathtaking coastal fortresses, these historic sites offer a glimpse into the incredible layers of culture that have shaped Tunisia over thousands of years.